Yeah, Silent Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep, go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laughs in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card bar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is. It is Monday. And we are here with another episode I.O.W. Sports Late Night Owl Edition. It is episode 477. 477. And yes, we are here. We are live. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope you watched a lot of, some Little League World Series was jumping off. In a lot of NFL preseason throughout the whole weekend. And that'll be pretty much our main focus tonight. Because, as you see, I got the legal homie. All right. My man, Pastor Bart. All right. So he knows his shit about what is right and wrong when it comes to legal shit. Hopefully I never had to call him, but
I got you if you do.
But I'm glad that I got that insurance that you did if need be. But man, hey, Randy. How was your weekend, bro? How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Happy. Honestly, I'm very, very happy that like the days are full of football now. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like we got football. We got football going on. It's great.
Too much football. Even had some tonight. There was a preseason game. The Washington Commanders football team, Redskins, whatever they got their name going on. I know they're the Commanders. I'm just but took on the Cincinnati Bengals. Preseason week 2 finale. So nothing big, but it was preseason. Nothing to go writing home about. Is other teams just trying to figure out their depth chart. But as you can see, the headline, quarterback summit. Yes, we're going to have the bulk of our conversation, around quarterbacks. And 4 in particular, and we got to this 4 in particular. Obviously, Caleb Williams, Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Shaw. Obviously, some other names of quarterbacks will be thrown in there. Don't be surprised if we end up talking about Cam Ward. The Colts got a quarterback situation. They got to figure out what the hell's going on. Don't be surprised if we talk about other quarterbacks in that quarterback summit. It's just a chance for us to, talk about concerns, talk about, if you want to throw some expectations or, praises. We're not going to throw out the other side of that coin where it might be some praises thrown out in this quarterback summit. It's just going to be honest football talk. But before we get to the main kit and caboodle of tonight's show, we do have to finish some unfinished business. All right, we got some unfinished business because last week we started a lot of the predictions and Randy blessed the station with some NFL takes. You know, whether you agree or disagree with him, he provided with them, and you're more than welcome to go back to last week's show and check those out. But let's get down to finish these predictions, my brother. Okay, and I'm gonna pull this up real quick right here because these are just the record predictions from obviously a lot of those records was already predicted last week on last week's episode.
Yeah, and I dropped these predictions 2 weeks ago, and then I added the surprising hot take predictions last week. So yeah, so now that we've seen a little bit of some of the quarterbacks, because this was before preseason, now we have seen 2 weeks of preseason. Now, and a lot of things have changed. Obviously, me not knowing that Rashawn Slater was going to be injured, me not knowing that Matt Stafford was going to have the back thing, not knowing that, and it just got announced today, Trey Hendrickson's on the trade block now. Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, have been potentially on the trade block. Any of those things can obviously change this, right? So, if Trey Hendrickson gets taken off of the Bengals defense and they get even worse, maybe that's the difference between them making the playoffs and not making the playoffs, because they're so on that fine line. My Bears hot take, and we're going to talk about Caleb Williams, it not looking too bad immediately, not looking too bad. My Colts winless take, also not looking too bad. They're not beating the allegations.
No, it ain't looking too bad. I ain't gonna lie, especially with that one. Yeah, man. Obviously, I'll go ahead and give you your flowers on the as of right now, the Bears one is not looking too bad as well. But in particular, I'm not surprised about the Colts one is literally standing the test of time right now, because that one, Lord, and what's crazy is they're in a division that is so weak, like the AFC South, that I don't think it's a good division.
No,
I just don't. And when you're that bad in a bad division like that, yeah, that's called furniture moving at the end of the season if it really goes the way that you're going down.
Yeah.
You got to clean house. You got to start cleaning house, man. So
also, it looks like the bottom is cut off. So for anyone who can't see, I have the Colts and Saints both going winless.
Oh, no,
the last two spots. Yeah.
Got you here. Let me move that banner right there. That is the Colts at 0-17 and the Saints at 0-17 that he has at the bottom. The Colts, the Colts. I know for the fact you can
go ahead.
No, we can throw the Saints in there too. They're making your take stand up just as good too. So,
Now I will say that I think Tyler Shuck looked a little better in the game against the Jaguars than he did the previous game where he had the pick. He was pretty, he was accurate, but he was, still very conservative, throwing a lot of checkdowns. Kind of still a little skittish to play. Doesn't strike me as someone who's going to win for them. He's maybe just kind of learning how to be comparatively stable, but still not great. I mean, an average of 5 yards per reception. Not, okay, you're getting the ball to the guy, but like, what's that even doing at that point?
Yeah, but. These visuals right here are just up for the the grand finale of Randy's way too early predictions for the NFL season, because those records, as we went through every division, and like he preferenced, a lot of those things were 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of stuff that has happened post the original release of those things right there. So. You know what it is. Anthony, if the Colts get the number 1 pick and draft a QB, is Anthony Richardson time in Indy over?
Yeah.
I mean,
if they get the number 1 pick, that means that Anthony Richardson was bad enough to get them the number 1 pick
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't imagine why they would continue to hold on at that point. Like they bring in Daniel Jones, because that means that Daniel Jones was also bad enough to get them the number 1 pick, and Anthony Richardson didn't beat him.
If you're getting the number 1 pick, that means that you do not have your answer at quarterback. And here's the thing. I think you still can get value for Anthony Richardson. I know it sounds crazy saying that, obviously, the availability issues, the durability issues, and I'm just saying. Yeah, he said, "You gonna stop that Cleveland hate?" He said, "More than 2 games and another 100 if we win more than the Giants." Oh, that's big. Oh,
I might take you up on the Giants one.
yeah, I don't know if you want to do that one, Bobby. I don't know about that one.
That's tempting.
You must like losing money, bro. I don't know about that one, bro.
I'm assuming that he's relying on the Giants having a worse schedule, but quarterback hasn't looked that bad. But aside from Sanders, it's looked better than the Browns quarterback room.
Yeah, we'll talk.
And we'll talk about that. Yeah, sure.
That in just a second, but yeah, AP, I can't see what would be the purpose of hanging on for another first round top 5 pick from 3 years ago if you go get a number 1 pick. It would, to me, it wouldn't make any sense, because at some point in time, that would mean that Anthony Richardson would start reaching contract extension talk. And why would you extend a guy at a position that you just drafted? And at the quarterback position, you know what that quarterback market is like. I wouldn't even entertain that.
Yeah.
You probably don't even pick up the 5th-year option. Probably just move off them.
Yeah, I think so too. If they get the number 1 pick, which I think is totally possible. And I mean, Will Levis was drafted in the same division in the same draft year that Anthony Richardson was. They moved off of him already.
Yeah,
they're not waiting, because that's the point. If you get a couple of years with a guy and he's as bad as Will Levis and Anthony Richardson have been, and I'm gonna address that. I'll address that, Bobby. If you're as bad as Will Levis and Anthony Richardson have been, and you get lucky enough to get a number 1 overall pick, you take it. Like, you don't like, oh, we'll give him another chance. Like, there's just no need for it. And to your point, I agree that there is a team that you could push Anthony Richardson off of as a project, because for the same reason that the Colts drafted him, because he has insane athletic traits.
Yeah.
And he's so boom or bust, even though it's been almost all bust.
Oh, it's been a lot of bust.
There is, you can theoretically convince yourself you can turn him into a Josh Allen because of his traits. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, that's just kind of, I just don't think that would happen. But there are teams that could buy that. And that's also why, and I think that Anthony Richardson has to get the starting job over Daniel Jones, because
Has to. It's a must.
yes, he has to get the starting job, not just for himself, but also the Colts need to make him the starter. And the reason why is because if he theoretically hits his ceiling, you got your guy.
Mm-hmm.
But his floor is so low that if you don't have your guy, then you have a high draft pick.
Yeah.
And you can replace him. With Daniel Jones, he doesn't have much of a ceiling at all. You kind of just know what you're getting, which is that he's bad. But he's bad in a way where you could theoretically win, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 games against bad teams. And that might just push you out of the Arch Manning, or if it not him, then the top QB sweepstakes. Yeah. And just, you never want to be the team that's not bad enough to get the number 1 pick, but still bad enough to be around the top 10.
Yeah, it puts the Colts in a weird position because it's kind of like you you don't want to shoot yourselves in the foot to get yourself out of a chance at a generational talent. And when you're a team that has no answer at quarterback and you need to answer it at quarterback and you're picking high, it behooves you to be as closer to number one as possible so you have your pick of the litter. Because you don't want nobody to, leapfrog you, take the guy that you wanted. You felt that he was going to be the guy that fit your system, blase, and then all of a sudden he's off the board. So, look, this might sound crazy, Randy. I'm feeling a lot of Trey Lance vibes with Anthony Richardson. And what I'm saying is Trey Lance vibes as in a team that went and got you high. It hasn't worked out. They've pretty much exhausted every opportunity and gave it to you to prove that you can stay available and play the game. And you just haven't done it. I'm getting a lot of the same vibes. And it's almost to this point where it's like you do have to be like the Titans. You do have to be like the 49ers and be like, you know what? Fuck it, we got it wrong. Move on. Eat it. And just eat it and eat. And I know. So the crazy thing about, because I know, back in the days in the NFL, if you got the quarterback wrong, it probably set you back almost 10 years. Now it's almost to that point where you're getting such an influx of quarterback talent year in and year out. If you get it wrong, fuck it, reset it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Reset. And
it's what you're better off doing that than what the Giants did and giving him money off of one good year where he won a playoff game. Project.
Okay, so Bobby, you're saying and me and Bobby kind of talked about this on Audible podcast. There's at least projected 6 quarterbacks that you say franchises will probably clamor over next year. Obviously, Arch Manning being at the top of that, but I mean,
and that also assumes that Arch Manning's gonna be eligible. He might go back to school. I know there's still that concern.
True. And I think that's another thing about when it comes to especially college football with NIL and all that stuff. I have no rush to come out to the league, especially if you're one of those high-profile NIL college football athletes like a Shedeur Sanders, like a Travis Hunter. You don't have to come out, especially if you're making 3, 4, 5, upwards $6 million in NIL. So I can understand that concern of Arch going back. He pretty much was getting good damn NIL money being a backup for the last 2-3 years. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, that's true. He doesn't necessarily need to go to the NFL. I think with Arch Manning, it's kind of, if you're representing him, then you have to figure out, okay, he's already considered the first overall pick after like a couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want him to have much more exposure before going into the draft? Do we think that he'll stay there when we see a full season of him starting? Really? I would think about that if I was his agent. I would think, okay, how good am I sure that he is? If I've already convinced the world that he should be taken first overall after a couple of games.
I think he's first overall no matter what the hell he does this year.
You think so? I think considering how many good QBs that are in this draft.
I know what you're saying. And you're not wrong. I'm saying by namesake. He's NFL royalty just by namesake.
That's what's carrying him right now. But a big part of that is also he looked really good in the couple of times we've seen him, and the mystique of that is helping. Now, if he can play a full season like he played, then yeah, absolutely. Of course he's going to stay there. Even if he just looks good. Like, if he looks good, solid, yeah, he'll probably just on the name be able to stay the first overall pick. If he declines, you're taking a big risk giving him more exposure before he enters into the draft when you really don't need to.
Oh, that's easy. I would start Will Levis. I would bench Anthony Richardson, and I would cut Trey Lance.
Ooh. I'm
crazy that I'm saying that right now.
I'm gonna say I would start Anthony Richardson.
Mm.
Then I would bench Levis and then cut Lance. Because again, with the upside thing. Will Levis was just as bad as Richardson, just without the crazy potential.
Yeah, but my man had some warrior heart. My man Will Levis was getting his dick kicked in, and he stood in them games, man. He wasn't doing this.
True. Fair enough. That's a good point. He wasn't like, I'm tired. Give it to Joe.
he wasn't doing this. So, and I know he missed some games too, but he was getting his dick kicked in, and
yeah, and the games he missed, he earned those. Yeah, not like Richardson just sitting like I'm tired. Give the ball to Flacco.
So, but no, as we got off topic, and sorry, folks, we just having good conversation.
Sure. Okay.
Here's let's talk about it, man, because you're predicting a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl, and you're predicting that the Detroit Lions will get their first ever Super Bowl trophy. Well, okay. Before we even get there, let's back it all the way up to wild card round and go divisional round, AFC Championship, then Super Bowl. So go ahead and take it over all the way from the beginning, big dog. Go ahead.
Okay. So again, the Slater injury and the Matt Stafford back injury might change this. And if Trey Hendrickson gets taken off the Bengals, that also might change if the Bengals make it here. But Texans Chargers, when I was doing this, I had the Chargers win in the regular season and the Texans win in the playoffs. I mean, we've literally seen that matchup already. Now with a potentially even worse offensive line, if this is the matchup.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. I mean, they still have Joe Alt, but they already had issues with their interior. And now if the bookends were really keeping that together. So if they don't have that and you don't have a good offensive line on either side, Texans should win again. There's no reason they wouldn't. Ravens, Bengals. Ravens win that because they're just the significantly more complete team. 2 great offenses, only 1 great defense. Bills, Broncos, again, same matchup as last time. I do think that the Broncos will look even better. I think I had them going 11-6. Now with Slater, maybe the Broncos get the 2 seed in that division, but you have Bills, Broncos, the Bills should win that. Buccaneers, Bears. This one's very close, but because I'm predicting that the Bears will look significantly better, I think that
probably stupid. My bad.
I think I have the Bears winning that. Lions, Vikings. I think that just because of the JJ questions, the Lions already have at least as complete a team, but with a more experienced, more proven quarterback. And then you have Rams and Falcons. Falcons, like I've said, have all the offensive tools. If Penix is good, which I think he will be, they have all the offensive tools. Got a really good receiver room. Got one of the best running backs in the NFL. Got one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. And then you have a really, really promising secondary with what could potentially be a top 3 safety duo with Bates and Xavier Watts and AJ Terrell back there. Mm-hmm. The only concern is the defensive line, but I do think that if either Walker or Pierce is good, then the team is mostly complete. And so I think that's enough, especially in their weak-ass division with 4 free wins with the Panthers and Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they managed to get a playoff spot too. But I do have the Rams beating them. Much more experienced quarterback, more proven defense, much more proven coach. So I have them winning that. Just for the first round, do you have any questions? Or do you want to talk about anything in particular?
Well,
that also considering like who I have making it.
Yeah.
You didn't agree with any of them.
No, obviously, we've kind of had our differences on the Bears projection. So obviously I'm a little curious about them going over Tampa Bay in a wild card round. I just think Baker's just been playing, dare I say, top 10 quarterback since he's gotten in Tampa Bay. I don't know what it is. I've never been a Baker fan. You can ask Bobby G, and I'm starting to turn into a Baker boy. The man's been balling since he got to Tampa Bay. I mean,
oh, for sure. And like I'm a at least within the system, I'm a believer that like this is what he is. Like he was very good on the Browns for the first couple of years, and then he got moved around, and now he's had a resurgence arc. So
yeah,
like. Yes, he has a good offensive line, and yes, he has about as insane a load of weapons as you can ask for, but he has still been playing his ass off, for sure.
Here's one of my biggest things. He also has done this with 2 different OCs and gotten them jobs.
Yes.
So come on, man. I thought I'd never see the day that I was like pro Baker Mayfield, but here I am. And
yes.
That's just what it is. It says you realize Stafford is literally like Jack Rooney from Any Given Sunday, right? One hit and the career is over. Well, to be fair, Bobby, Randy did make these predictions 2 weeks ago.
Yes, I made my cutoff where I wasn't allowed to change it starting at preseason. So that's just kind of where we're at right now.
And obviously, we've gotten more details about Matthew Stafford in the back, and since then, obviously with the back, that's something you don't want to fuck around with. So as you see, a lot of Stinson Bennett in these preseason games. So they got to get somebody ready.
I will also say, and I will admit, considering a lot of these are close calls, the narrative did drive me a little bit. I love good narratives. I love good sports stories. And I would hate, because everybody's talking about that this is the Lions' year where they're going to start to decline. Because they were all 3 AFC West teams were in there last year.
Thank you. I was about to say it, and thank you.
What do you mean it's wild? And it's not like any of them got worse, except maybe the Chargers. Anyway, the narratives did kind of drive me a little bit. Everyone's saying that this is the Lions year where they're going to start to decline because now they don't have Ben Johnson. I'm gonna just skip past them for this part. That they don't have Ben Johnson, they don't have Aaron Glenn, and they lost a bunch of their positional coaches. Just like, all right, this is the year of reckoning, as David Montgomery put it. That this is where they should start to decline. I would hate, from a narrative standpoint, if the Lions have this incredible resurgence from being one of the jokes of sports to being right there on the door and then just going back down. I think that they need to break through. And if you're going to make a pathway for the Detroit Lions to win their first ever Super Bowl, how much more narratively perfect is this? They beat one of their division rivals in the first. Then they beat and probably retire Matt Stafford in his original stadium. Then they beat Ben Johnson's new team when he left them for a division rival for a new project first overall pick quarterback to prove that they didn't need him. And then they go and beat this era's dynasty to win their first ever Super Bowl. They just step back and think for the narrative how beautiful that would be. If football was scripted, this one's for free.
This was for free. I will say this: that narrative would be crazy, and if you put just probably $1 down for that to happen on any betting site and see what the earnings of that would be, but so put that in your pipe and smoke that and put that away and see if you get rich off of that shit. But
Two quarterbacks that essentially replaced him on the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be definitely something that Disney could not even write themselves. Now that they got a stake in it, but hell, they just might write it for him.
Yup.
But no, man. Look, I don't hate your first round predictions. I don't hate all of them. I just questionable, obviously, just because we differ on the Bears, and we'll definitely dive a little bit more into that later on. But go ahead to your divisional round.
All right, so Chiefs beating the Texans. I mean, I don't feel like I really need to explain that one that much. Nothing against the Texans, just the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So that's just kind of how that is. Ravens Bills. Now, I know that most people, if you have a playoff game between the Bills and the Ravens, because people are predisposed to play off Lamar, they say, like, okay, well, the Bills win that one. Two reasons why I have the Ravens win. The Ravens are I think, pretty significantly more complete overall team. They both have elite top 4 quarterbacks, but the team around Lamar overall is better than the team around Josh Allen.
Pretty nice.
Yes, exactly. The receiving core isn't amazing, but it's better than the Bills' receiving core. He has Derek fucking Henry. Both teams have good offensive lines, and then just the defense for the Ravens is completely loaded, whereas the Bills are a good defensive team. They're kind of relying on a lot of rookies in the secondary. They relied a lot on, and the reason why, and I made that joke in I.O.W. Sports Network of the logic behind Josh Allen winning MVP, because like I said, if it wasn't mainly about win-loss record, because otherwise it would have gone to Mahomes or Goff. It wasn't mainly about stats, because otherwise it would have gone to Lamar or Burrow. It was mainly them saying, you did that shit with Khalil Shakir.
Yeah.
And that's still kind of true. Like, their situation hasn't changed in that way. So there's that reason. But there's also Lamar Jackson has gradually improved in the playoffs. If you look at each of his playoff years since 2019, 2020. I think it was 2020 was the year he was hurt. So the year after the Tyler Huntley year.
Yeah,
every year from that point, he did gradually improve in the playoffs. If you notice, he made the AFC Championship game 2 years ago and won a playoff game to get there. He didn't have to win 2 because they were the first seed because he was that good in the regular season. But they handily beat the Texans, and then they made the AFC Championship game. Lamar didn't play particularly well in it, but they won a playoff game to get to the furthest they've ever been. Last year, they won a playoff game, then went against the Bills. Now, Lamar did have the 2 turnovers in the first half, so he didn't have a great overall game. But the fact that he had the 2 turnovers, and then in the second half, instead of melting down, which was something he historically did when things started to go wrong in the playoffs, he stepped up in the second half and got them 1 play away from bringing it into overtime, and Mark Andrews dropped the ball. I think, considering how close they were, if he's gradually improving the way that he has been, I think since they were 1 play away from bringing it into overtime, I think with a better team, the next step is beating Josh Allen to get back to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I actually think that I agree wholeheartedly with the assessment that the Ravens as a complete team is like that. I just think they're building on both sides of the football, and they're just, you add that typical Baltimore attitude to it, it becomes a problem. And adding it, look, DeAndre Hopkins still wants to play. They picked him up. I don't see what he's really going to add. What we got in Kansas City from him down the stretch was kind of perplexing to me. I saw a guy that career-wise catches every damn thing, and then he was had some cases of some drops down the stretch, and I'm like, is that DeAndre Hopkins? Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
I was kind of perplexed. So I don't know what he's going to add, but I definitely rock with your assessment on that side of the bracket. Go ahead with your NFC side on that.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Lions Rams because I know the big controversial one. So I'll do that one last. Lions Rams. Lions have beaten the Rams in the playoffs, I think, twice now with this iteration. Jared Goff beating the quarterback that replaced him. He's done that twice now. No reason he shouldn't be able to do it a third time. They are a better overall team, and especially now with if Matt Stafford is playing through an injury, I think this one's, I think that one's pretty solid. Now, Lions Bears. I'm having a little fun with my predictions. I'm aware how crazy that looks.
Yeah,
but
it looks like you've been smoking this that up.
I know it's crazy. However, again, I've made the case as to why I think the Bears will be really good this year. I do think that Caleb always had talent, and I'm gonna slap the shit out of Bones, fucking little skinny bald ass nigga. Get off of my stream. Get off of my stream with your negativity. That's crazy. That's really funny though. That was really funny though. Yes, I was just about to say, Anthony. Yes, a big part of that is absolutely the Madden curse. I do think that it's a thing. It's a thing, and especially with an already injury-prone player, I'm just saying. Now
they got CMC.
Yeah. So on top of that, Bears. I think Caleb has a lot of talent. He just was cursed, I think, from a lot of his own mistakes, but also a bad offensive line and a bad head coach, both of which have been fixed now. Should have a top 10 offensive line. Has a great group of weapons. We're going to talk about the preseason game. He looked really good. Luther Burden also looked good. He has a great set of weapons. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they already had a good defense. One of those games has to not be chalk. So I picked that one because I don't think the Bears are going to look anything like what they looked like last year. And from the little we've seen of them, that does seem to be fitting with my prediction nicely. And again, also the beautiful, the sweet narrative. So
And they going in on you in the chat, bro. It's going in on you.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Brother Shabazz.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Crazy, bro. Oh man. Yeah, you bro, come on. You obviously when you put that up there, you was like, yeah, that's gonna be the one that's gonna make people look at me like, yo, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Because like we're talking about a stacked Eagles team and expecting Caleb Williams to go against that defense. I think that's a lot to ask for, especially when we seen last year when he went up against some good defenses, man. He did not look good. And I understand they did make changes to offensive line. You do bring in Ben Johnson. You do have, like you said, I love Luther Burden. Obviously, I'm a Missouri Tigers fan, so glad that he's going to get his chance to shine in the NFL. Wish it was in a Chiefs uniform, but I digress. But hey, I'm just saying that you're asking a lot, man.
I am asking a lot. It's true. I'm asking a lot. However, yes, the Eagles are stacked. They're a great roster. Nobody could. Even me, I could not deny that as much as I would like to.
Yeah, I'm just Randy. I want you to know that this is live and recorded.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm standing on it. 10 toes down.
Okay.
10 toes down.
I can
The Eagles the Eagles are a stacked team. They did lose Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Mekhi Becton. I think they overall still have a great roster.
Pyramid scheme. Y'all gotta stop.
Damn, I'm feeding them. I'm feeding the trolls. I'm paying no mind. Yeah, so I mean, look, they lost some pieces in the offseason. They replaced them with rookies. Rookies aren't always a foolproof plan to replace really good players. They didn't lose like an insane amount of them. It wasn't like the 49ers, but like they lost some important pieces and they're filling them with rookies. And then also the Madden curse. Can't forget the Madden curse. It's upsets always happen, right? Like there's never a season where the favorite wins every single game.
That's fair.
Especially in the playoffs. One of them happens, right? Like nobody thought the Commanders were beating the Lions. Nobody thought that. And then it happened. The Bears have a better overall roster than the Commanders did.
Yeah.
So
they should have won that game off there. Yeah, but
yeah, exactly. They should have won that game. But if Caleb lives to the potential that he went into the NFL with, he could be a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Because he was supposed to be a game-changing quarterback, a one that you can win because of. Hurts has never been that. Hurts is a good quarterback within a great system, but he isn't the guy that anyone's ever expected to lead the team into victory. And before the Eagles fans get all upset about that and whine and cry and say that he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and all that shit, look at what the Eagles were like 2 years ago when he no longer had an elite defense and it had to be mostly on him and the team imploded entirely. That's Jalen Hurts when you give him a bad situation. So if Caleb Williams can be as good as his ceiling is, he can be a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. And with also having a very good roster around him and a great, very unpredictable head coach who nobody has a lot of tape on as a head coach, which was similar to the coaching situation for the Commanders. Nobody knew what to expect from them, and that was a big part of why they won a lot of those games. You know, then I'm just ignoring Bobby. Then you have a way that you could get a surprising victory that maybe you otherwise shouldn't get, and that's why I have that here.
Not foul, bro. And let's to finish it up. Obviously, championship weekend. Chiefs over Ravens, and then Lions over Bears. Go ahead, drop some quick explanations on them joints right there.
Okay, well, Chiefs over Ravens is because it's the Chiefs. Like I'm not betting against the Chiefs. I know that that's like the thing that everyone's doing in the offseason, right? Like, oh, this is the end of the Chiefs dynasty, whatever. I don't know why. I think it's just mostly because people want it to be, not because they actually think it is. Like, yeah, they lost in the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes didn't have a left tackle. He has a left tackle now. He has Rashee Rice back. I don't know why they'd be worse. And them at what is probably their absolute worst still managed to get to the Super Bowl. So I have them going to the Super Bowl again. And then Lions over Bears. The Lions are the more proven team. And again, that sweet narrative.
Yeah, I'm with that. Hey, I gotta chill, bro. Y'all leave Randy alone, man. Hey, and ain't wrong with smelling good neither. So
yeah, y'all should try it. Y'all try it. Y'all musty motherfuckers.
Yeah,
in our audience.
Little musty little ass boy. The Chiefs Lions rematch of that opening game from a couple of years ago, where the Lions came in the Arrowhead, won that joint, and Chris Jones obviously was holding out, did not play. I think, and the Chiefs only lost by 1. But 2 different teams at this point in this juncture, if that were to happen. But hey, if you got Lions over Chiefs, by all means, you want the storybook in and you want the script, hey, by all means. Yeah. I just have a thing with the Chiefs where you may get them once, but you normally don't get them again. They kind of have that kind of, you know, aura about them. You may get them once. You damn sure ain't gonna get them twice. This is how they kind of roll. So
Look, I'm just saying, this is Cody Rhodes going over the tribal chiefs right here. This is the Lions finishing the story.
wow.
They're finishing the story.
Wow. I like that. I like that. Sidebar real quick. Obviously, the wrestling reference right there from Randy. That was smooth right there. Nice verbiage right there. Shout out to Naomi, aka Trinity Fatu, and Jonathan Fatu, aka Big. Okay, I ain't say that. Jimmy Uso.
I called his ass out about calling him Big Jim before. Now he's just waiting to get paused. He's like,
Yeah. Ooh, and so shout out to them because we're big wrestling fans. And Monday night, you watch Monday Night Raw. They announced that they are going to have a baby, so that's dope. It kind of sucks because it's in no disrespect to the real life situation. Obviously, I'm a father. I love the joy about that, but as a wrestling fan, you're like, damn, she was cooking being the champion. She now has to relinquish. But no, the real life matters most. So big ups to Fatu family. The big news. So, but you want to speak on it real quick?
Yeah, I haven't been watching wrestling a lot, I'll be completely honest. One of the few things that I've really been interested in is Naomi as the champion, as the heel. She's been like the main thing other than the Cena heel turn, which is no longer a thing. That's really interested me recently in watching, and there hasn't been a lot else that I've really cared about. And yeah, so that from like a wrestling fan standpoint, it's just like, that kind of sucks. Like this was the best stuff she's ever done, like by far. She was entering that main event scene. She was in that main event scene. She was up there with the Rhea Ripleys and the Bianca Belairs and all them. But yeah, of course, real life matters first. And I'm happy for them for sure.
In the way she relinquished was so in character. It was so fly. So shout out to like sticking to it. That was dope. But well, Anthony, I mean, you kind of plan it, but you don't play it because you don't know when it's gonna happen.
yeah. There's no way they knew back then. Like she wouldn't have been in the match because she wouldn't be taking bumps.
Yeah, because trust me, I got three examples of when you sometimes life. So so
what a way to be like, yeah, my kids were accidents.
hey, you know me, I keep it real.
It happened, yeah, of course. It happens to the best of us.
Doing them jerseys accidents. I'm like, shit, damn.
Like new moves, new plan.
Hey, that's when you all right. Let's switch it up. All right, so, obviously, we'll get to this quarterback summit because we definitely were excited to kind of just talk quarterback, and say whatever we feel is necessary or what we're feeling about said quarterback. And we're gonna start with old Caleb Williams, because Randy is very high on Mr. Williams. I do not share those same sentiments. I'll let Marshall.
Ma, I can't hear you. Oh, okay.
He got the weapons. You know what I'm saying, Randy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean a lot of his mistakes from last year, like he's already showing improvement with. He's being more decisive. He's not holding onto the ball as long. He's airing that shit out too. Like a lot of deep passes. He's not afraid to air it out.
Hey, I'm cheap, Bobby. Hey, man, don't even worry about me, dog. All right. That was a nice throw right there. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep.
Hey, Zakay has kind of been bouncing around, but he's kind of been like one of those kind of like, you know, obviously he's like a third or fourth string, but he can make some plays every now and then. Because I know he was doing some stuff in Atlanta until he's bouncing around. But I love, like you said, love Luther Burden. Absolutely love Luther Burden.
Yeah, I mean, like he's got DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, Roma Dunze, who should be better than he was last year. Like that's that's a good situation to be in for sure.
Says another joint practice. Hey, look, I feel you. Look, we get it. It's preseason. All right, we get it.
It's preseason, and yeah, obviously, like you're playing against a lot of backups, a lot of rookies, a lot of people trying to make the team. But this is a chance to see the development.
I understand it, but you really got to explain the you really got the Bears going that far. I'm just like, okay, and that has to be a good year from Caleb Williams for any of that to happen.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, if you look at last year, and last year was not a good year for the Bears overall. And I wouldn't say that it was a good year for Caleb Williams either. If you just look at Caleb Williams' stats, they're not that bad. They're a lot better than the offense as a whole looked. It was, in fact, ironically, the best rookie season of a Bears quarterback ever. Now, you can say that, well, the bar is incredibly low. They've had the worst quarterback play of any team, and that's absolutely true. But it's already a significant upgrade from what they've had. And he does seem to be getting better.
That's fair. That's fair. And if there's any one thing that, like, obviously, I'm still kind of having my reservations about it. But if there's one thing that I say that I think that is a positive is that just the subtraction of ex-coach and insertion of Ben Johnson should automatically, well, obviously normally I don't assume that it's just going to automatically just make it better for him, but I think it makes it better for him. Just off the factor right there. So
yes, I think it'll be better. And look, I'm not like a appeal to draft authority. Like I'm not assuming like because he was the first overall pick, he therefore must be good. It's like, I was one of the people that stopped making excuses for Trevor Lawrence in year 3, like at least year 3. I bet if he's not good this year, I'm not going to continue to be like, I think Caleb Williams is actually a good quarterback and it's everyone else's fault. Like, he's in as good of a situation as you can ask for. If he's still not good, then he's just not good. And that's fair. But if you're coming into the NFL and you're getting comparisons to Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, which he was, that this is a creative, not by the numbers quarterback who can be a creative system controlling quarterback with the arm and the mobility and all of that. He just has to stop holding onto the ball so long. And that was basically like his main flaw. If you're getting comps like that, and you're the top of what was already a great quarterback class last year, I have to assume that there's talent there. And that's kind of what I'm relying on. I'm giving him another year to be the quarterback he was essentially advertised to be. But if he's not that this year, then that he just isn't. That's how I feel. I'm not in any way an advocate for Caleb Williams on any sort of principle. I just think that he was supposed to be really good. He was really good in college, and now he's in a great situation.
I think though, I don't know. It's obviously with the upper management, they just been going through quarterbacks just like other franchises, just revolving doors. So it's kind of like you can't throw anything out the window with this organization. So I mean, they just gave up on Justin Fields, and they got him in the first round, and that was what 3 or 4 years, and then they cut bait. So they can go down the line of starters. Many, like, you don't buy the quarterback's jersey in Chicago. You don't buy the quarterback's jersey in Cleveland, some other franchises. You just don't buy the quarterback jersey, all right? Because it'll be a discounted jersey just as soon as it hit the market.
Yeah. We'll talk about Cleveland quarterbacks.
Well, let's do it. Since we, good segue. Dylan Gabriel. How did you feel?
I felt vindicated. I felt vindicated because we've been, I think both of us, I think it would be fair to say, you could correct me if this doesn't represent you, pretty strong Shador defenders as far as the football landscape goes. We both thought he was very obviously not drafted where he was because of his quarterback play. He was drafted where he was because people didn't like his attitude. There's no question in my mind that he was not considered as a player a fifth-round quarterback, but Dylan Gabriel was considered a third-round quarterback. That's just not how it was. So this is about as much proof. And now, again, it's preseason, one game each, whatever. But if you're trying to compare two quarterbacks who are – there's so few variables and excuses that you have. They're literally on the same team. They have the same supporting cast. They have the same coach. We're getting basically the same treatment in camp. And one of them is massively better than the other one already.
He is.
It's so obvious that it's not close. Who's the better? It wasn't close during camp, and it's not close now. I don't know what you do if you're the Browns, because there's still questions over whose decision it was to take Shador. If it was the owner making the GM and the coach do it, or vice versa, or whatever. Just own up to it. Like, just own up to it. Yeah, we should have just taken Shador. We didn't need to also take Gabriel. There was no reason for that. Shador was obviously the better player. And then just focus on Shador. Shador had 2 touchdowns, no picks. Gabriel had 2 turnovers, no touchdowns. He through almost the entire play, and even outside of just the 2 turnovers, which were really bad turnovers, threw directly at Makuba, like directly into coverage for the pick, and then botching a handoff for the other turnover. Not good. He threw a bunch of checkdowns and handoffs, like Shador was airing the ball out, doing a lot of difficult passes. He was, really being assertive as a thrower. And Gabriel was really held onto a leash in the way that he was expected to play, just kind of dinking and dunking, almost nothing past 10 yards. He had a couple of nice passes here and there, but it was very, and well, obviously because of the hamstring, we don't really know if that's the reason, but he was even running awkward, probably because of the hamstring. It's just, why do you have 4 quarterbacks? Why do you have 5 They have 5 quarterbacks. Those are just the ones that are there. They also have Deshaun Weinstein at home. Why do you have 6 quarterbacks?
Well, and to be fair, and I've taken my fair shots at Cleveland, and I just also think, and me and Bobby kind of talked about this Saturday. Look, training camp, when you have injuries, and they've had injuries at the quarterback position, you do bring in bodies at the position because it's at need. And it was, this is still training camp, preseason time. They don't have to cut down to the final roster till I think after the last preseason game. So, or somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the exact day, but till the final cut day. So it's not here now. So you're still evaluating what you can do with the roster, and that's just part of training camp. But for me, look. Obviously, I've been a pro Shador Sanders, since Jackson State, and I understand the situation for what it is. We know what it is. We talked about it, so I'm not gonna jump down that rabbit hole again. But just to play devil's advocate and be a Dylan Gabriel defender right now, and obviously everybody in the world has talked about his size and how that's going to be a shortcoming for him in this league, and it showed. All right, it did. All right, here's the deal. He's going to have to figure out how to be athletic enough to use his athleticism to get some of these passes off, because it's going to be tough for him in this league. To defend him, and I've never been a defender of him. He was going up against the Eagles, and the Eagles showed up their depth that they got on defense past their ones. And so when you're seeing that type of athleticism on the Eagles defense, that was kind of more. I'm kind of giving more credit to the Eagles organization for having that much good depth on the defense with athletes everywhere, that it was tough in the preseason game for this guy.
I don't agree. I think that, yes, obviously you can look at the fact that the Eagles were the last year's best defense and the Panthers were last year's worst defense. And so there's a big gap in talent between the Eagles backups and the Panthers backups. And I don't think that's unfair. That's true. I don't think that explains a lot of the issues that Gabriel had, though. A lot of the issues that Gabriel had were either being too scared to
make the throw.
Being too scared to make throws.
Or just didn't read it right.
Yeah, carelessness. Yeah, not reading it right. And also, and again, the one excuse I'll give him is the hamstring, the awkward lack of mobility, and the kind of weird way that he was running, obviously because of that. If he didn't have that, or if he heals from that and we see him again and he plays better, then I'll take all of this back, right? But this is the first game we've gotten to see him. This is our sample size right now.
Yeah.
So as of now, he did not look good. And a lot of those mistakes were definitely on him.
It's tough, man. It's a different game, and I just think that size is gonna suck for that guy. I mean, to be fair, because I said this to Bobby too. I mean, look at how the level of talent that you have when it comes to Kyler Murray, and then the problems he's having with his size.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, I think that matters. So
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think that it means you can't be a good quarterback. I mean,
oh no, that's not what I'm saying. Of course, yeah,
no,
I
no, I,
totally
I
agree.
know, I know you're not saying that because I mean Russell Wilson's the same height as him, and he's had a great career.
Yeah.
Drew Brees was 1 inch taller. He's my height, you know. So I don't, I don't think that that means he just can't be a good quarterback, but it is something that works against him for sure. Now you could tell that a lot of the reason why he was dinking and dunking at some points was because he couldn't see that far.
Hey,
Bro, don't make excuses. Like don't make so like it didn't result in anything. It resulted in 2 turnovers and 0 touchdowns.
hmm,
And he
and
didn't have a particular. What was his completion percentage? Hold on, I'm looking up Dylan Gabriel's stats right now.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that his height is going to stop him from being successful. And like you said, the names that you just threw now are prime examples. I'm just saying that uh, when you look at Kyler Murray, who's has his moments where he's looking like an all-star, and then there's moments where it's look like, damn man, if man his size is kind of a slight cap to what he could possibly, or the potential hitting the peak of that sometimes. That's all I'm saying. It's because we seen fast starts from Kyler Murray just about every year, and then his body starts kind of taking on some knick-knack injuries, and his performance kind of dips towards the back half of the schedule. So I'm just being honest. That's just what we've seen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. I mean, I'm seeing like, yeah, he didn't have a bad completion percentage. He actually had a pretty good percentage, but like off of like basically no depth of target. Like it was what I was saying. It was just all checkdowns. So I mean, yeah, okay. He moved the chains a bit, but he didn't result in anything. I don't think he showed that that's a winning formula for him. Like it's like, and I know Bobby's going to defend one of his 6 quarterbacks. I know he has to do it.
hey,
But
brother
he's
Shabazz,
no Jackson Dart.
well, let's talk about that. Your man Jackson Dart. How'd you feel about his performance?
Loved it. I've been loving Jackson Dart. He's it's preseason, whatever. I know I have to keep prefacing it with that, but he's looked really good in both of his starts so far. In pretty much every way. Good deep passes. He's accurate. He's fearless. He's tough. He's mobile. Good decision making. Like everything looks good. I am very pleasantly surprised up until this point. Also, shout out to some other players that aren't going to get looked at a lot. Bo Collins with that 80-yard touchdown, the receiver of that touchdown, very nice. I mean, it was the one play, but it was very nice, especially with the yards after the catch for that. I've loved Dante Miller. Dante Miller really does need to be in the mix to potentially make the first team. He's been awesome in the past 2 games. I think his amount, like yards per carry or yards per run, what was his yards? It was like 11 yards. It was, he's been good. He's been really good. But as far as Jackson Dart specifically, he's been awesome and gives me hope. Certainly better than Dylan Gabriel, Bobby. It's crazy.
Hey, I told you, brother Shabazz is shooting back, but look, hey, if you feel that would this be almost a situation that it could possibly save Brian Dayball's job, kind of give him almost like another year with him, and then kind of see what you can finally get. Just kind of keep the hot seat a little cool off a little bit.
So I said that I thought that part of the reason why they drafted a quarterback from their perspective was to be able to go to John Mara and be like, are you sure you want to disrupt the development of this quarterback by changing his head coach after 1 year? Yeah, they'd have, but in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality.
I mean, Subway.
Yeah, he's there for morale. We're not giving him the same kind of reps that you're giving your third, fourth strings in Dylan Gabriel, Snoop Huntley.
Hey, but hold on. You called the man Tommy Subway. It's wild. Y'all the chat been on a real one tonight. Y'all been on a real one tonight. Like, this is crazy.
In terms of quantity, yes, we are one less. In terms of quality of our quarterbacks, we're one up.
Hey, Bobby calling that man a morale cheerleader. He's a emotional support player.
Yes, he is. He brings joy to our city.
Hey, shut up. Hey, you're not supposed to. Hey, you of all people, knowing that when things are live and recorded, you must always be careful what you say. Like, you don't admit that, sir.
He brings joy to our city. I'm proud of that. Not ashamed whatsoever. He doesn't have to see the field. People just love that he's there.
That's crazy. And Bobby's in the chat still shooting at you. He says Flacco's better than all those other quarterbacks.
No, he's not. Stop it. If first of all, your best quarterback might be Joe Flacco. So you need to sit down. You need to sit down. He wasn't even good when he wasn't like 90 years old.
Better than Russ?
Russ is better than Joe Flacco. First of all, Russ was just in the playoffs. Like, I know that a lot of that was the elite defense, but he was just in the playoffs.
I don't know if I could take him over Russ. I don't know.
Nobody, are you about to tell me that you're taking Joe Flacco over Russ?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could feel that one.
I don't know if I'm taking Joe Flacco over Jameis Winston.
I mean, you can have a conversation either or with them dudes right there. Ooh.
Look, I'm just saying, Bobby can come on the show and cry when they decide that they're going to cut Shedeur and that you end up with Dylan Gabriel as your long-term starter for the next 4 or 5 years. I'm just saying, because he was picked later. He's at the bottom of the depth chart. We'll see how much you like the next 4 to 5 years. Probably as much as you've liked all the years before that. But between Jim Brown and now.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about it. So just follow me here.
Okay.
And if I'm crazy, just let me know. All right. Because I'm wild card. I don't care about saying wild shit. All right? But like with Russell Wilson getting older in age and him still having to, he's going to still have to be showing some mobility because of his height disparity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think what opens up for the injuries and those are different from when you were 25, 26. When you take them hits.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is more he's more cerebral in the pocket. So maybe now I'm really thinking about it.
No, stop it right now. Joe Flacco is not better. Certainly in their careers is not better than Russell Wilson.
Hold on.
But it's even now.
Randy, we're not talking about careers.
I know. I'm prefacing that.
If we're talking about careers, I'm with you 1,000%.
If you're talking about right now, even also,
Right
still
now.
no.
Hey, I'm just saying, you're looking at both situations. Both have been team bouncing. We're not gonna act like Russ ain't been team bouncing.
Oh, I'm not saying Russ is good. I'm saying he's better than Joe Flacco. You don't have to be good to be better than Joe Flacco.
I don't. I'm talking about right now. If we're talking, like you said, we're talking about career. I'm with you 1,000% right now. Them hits that he gonna be taking, because there's been some times he's been getting that little cage rattle.
Russ might still have the best moon ball in the NFL.
It's still pretty. It is.
Yes.
It is. Do you have confidence in your offensive line to hold up for Russell Wilson all year?
Do the Browns have confidence
No.
for Joe Flacco?
Randy, no, don't you do that. Don't you do
at least says the Russ has the mobility to extend plays.
Hey, was that your Dave Chappelle plead the fifth for me, bro? Was that what that was?
No, it wasn't. I'm saying, well, again, we're comparing the two, right? The Browns' offensive line doesn't look any better than ours.
No, Randy, I asked you a question, sir. I said, do you have faith in your New York Giants offensive line to protect Russell Wilson for 17 games? And you did not answer my question, sir.
Okay, look. Both the Giants and the Browns are going to have suspect offensive line play. But unlike Flacco, Russ still has some mobility to extend plays.
Joe's getting that football out of his hand a lot quicker than Russ.
Because he has to. Russ can move around and throw the deep ball. And he has Malik Neighbors to throw to. You know who Joe Flacco's best target is? Jerry Jeudy.
But Russell Wilson has always been one of the holding on to the football way too long and ass motherfuckers in the NFL. And that does not bode well when you do not have faith in your offensive line. Joe Flacco is more cerebral with the football. He gets the football out of his hand. He has a quicker release. He's making, all right, I know where I need to go. If it's there, boom. If it's not, boom. It's out. It needs to get out of his hand. Joe Flacco is a lot better at that than Russell Wilson.
Because he's throwing check downs. That's not a winning formula. Like, yeah, he can get the ball 5 yards quicker than Russ could get the ball 30.
It doesn't matter how far it go. It needs to get out, because you do not, when you got a picket fence in front of you that's supposed to protect you, that's going to break down at any moment, and you got a 300-pounder coming down about to just knock you to shit. Like, come on,
So you're not moved at all by the fact that the best target that Russ has to work with is Malik Neighbors, and the best that Joe Flacco has is Jerry Jeudy? You're not moved at all by that.
Personnel is great with Malik Neighbors. I would put him, the 1 year that he showed, hey, he was phenomenal. But they showed that they was going to wear his ass out because he was going to be pretty much all their offense. And there's going to be some moments where Russ is going to have to make some magic. And the older you get, man, those magical moments don't come as frequent as they used to. That's all I'm saying, man.
Also, how old is... Okay, hold on. Let me look up both of their ages, because...
I was like 38.
Joe Flacco's 40.
Is he?
He is exactly 40.
Oh, wait,
Russell Wilson is... I think he's, 37? How old is he? 36. We're talking about them like they're both equally decrepit. Joe Flacco is already more decrepit, okay? He's the age that Tom Brady quit at.
Decrepit is... Wait, have you not been paying attention to what Joe has been doing, though?
What has he been doing? 2 years ago, he had that magical 5-game whatever run to the playoffs, and just to get bounced. Okay, that was 2 years ago. Last year, he didn't make the playoffs. Russ did. He lost the last game Joe Flacco played was losing to my Giants with Drew Lock.
No, yeah, man, it's gonna be tough with that offensive line situation. I'm just saying.
So's theirs. So their offensive line's not better than ours is. It's also mad suspect, and they did nothing to address it in the offseason. We at least got Marcus Mbao, who's looked really good.
And here's another issue for both situations. I don't think you don't want to rest neither one of them quarterbacks in, whether it's Shador or Jackson. I don't like.
They might not even choose Shador. Remember, we're assuming because we think they should. They might choose Dylan Gabriel. He's higher on the depth chart.
I'm not buying that, bro. I'm not buying that.
I know they shouldn't, but the Browns do a lot of things they shouldn't do. Remember giving a sexual predator the most guaranteed contract ever? Like, do we trust this head office for anything? By the way, Bobby, you should remember that before you throw stones, because your glass house has a sexual predator in it that you gave crazy guaranteed money to. Well, you can't hurt any other fan of any other fan base.
I'm just saying, better than most. Like, criminal charges never went through. It was also, I'm just saying,
27 women that he settled with.
I understand.
They're all lying.
I'm just saying, man. You know how civil suits are, and especially if you're the lawyer heading it up, you know how you got to make it thing look. I'm just saying,
You're telling me that all 27 women?
That's not what I'm saying, Randy.
Independently, these women did not know each other. They all conspired independently against specifically Deshaun Watson with the exact same stories. Is this turned into a legal discussion?
No. All I'm saying is Tony Busby is very good at his damn job. All right. He just got a young lady to get retired off of OnlyFans thanks to Shannon Sharp's situation. That's all I'm saying. He's very good at his job. That's all.
Okay. These situations are not comparable.
No. All I'm saying is I would never, ever talk anything wrong with you. I have no standing in that field at all. I'm just saying, as a regular Joe Schmo, that Tony Busby is very good at his job. That's all I'm saying.
He is very good at his job. It does make it a lot easier when you have 27 independent corroborating clients.
That's all I'm saying. So, look,
Bobby's been real quiet, by the way. Bobby's been real quiet since I brought that up.
No. My thing is that besides that, I'm not buying that. That Shador, if it's not going to be Flacco, it's Shador. Obviously, they named Flacco to start of the day. That made sense. You were supposed to. He was going to start. We all knew that. Duh.
Yeah. Give your rookies a chance to sit, learn, watch.
You got it. Yeah. Point blank. Period. Now the starters that might have to play, some of the rookies. Cam Warren, I know. Yeah, he that's why he was number one. It's going to suck for him this year. I'm sorry, because the Titans are not going to be good. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but some of the wins that they're going to get is going to be because of him, because he has everything that I think you need to have in a young quarterback. He has the attitude, the confidence, the work ethic, and most of all, that motherfucker play some damn quarterback, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like the total package. Like that's what you build a franchise around, and they better start doing it now. Not waste any more of his time, effort. Start building around that guy now. Like even if it's trade deadline and you're not in the hunt, you should be a buyer because you need to have your future or what it's going to look like with him as your quarterback.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. And if the Browns are smart, which they're not, but let's say they were, they could get themselves in a really nice position if they build around Shador, who's going to be making for the next 4 years 5th round pick money. That gives them a lot of money to work with to build around him. Get him some receivers, get him an offensive line, turn the defense already has pieces of goodness, right? With Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, all that. You can add to that. If you are smart and you find a way to get rid of all the other quarterbacks that are just a distraction, just trade them and see what you can get for them. You have a good core, and then you have 2 first-round picks next year with the Jaguars pick. That I don't think is going to be a high number. I think there's a good chance it's in the top 10 to 15 at least.
You got more love than me.
I mean, I picked them for 4 wins in my prediction, so I think you could end up with 2 top 10 picks in addition to a cheap good quarterback. You could really build the team with the situation you'd be in if you play this smart, which they don't. And I am waiting to see when the Browns don't do any of that. Dylan Gabriel is their long-term starter, and they are picking in the top 3 every year. That's what I'm looking forward to that.
You said, nah, you said 2 wins.
I did say. I was talking about the Jaguars. The Jaguars were 4 wins. The Browns were 2 wins.
Yeah, he still got no love for your squad, Bobby. He said 2 wins for Cleveland and 4 for Jacksonville. I look, and they're gonna start having that comparison because they got kind of like this little friendly rivalry between Cam Ward and Shador. Like they always used to, train together and have little, have them film a little, little competitive shit talk that they would do back and forth. And so, but I'm pretty sure like they want to see each other succeed for sure. I just think this is going to be rough for both of them guys this year. Once they hit the field, like you said, the offensive lines issues for Cleveland, but Shador, who game I do love. Sometimes he got a little Russell Wilson in him where he kind of held onto the ball a little bit too long in Colorado with a bad O-line. So that's not that's one thing he has to get coached out of, and I think that's why you start Flacco and getting the ball out of your hand. And for Cam Ward, it's just, and that man was just making some damn throws against Atlanta. I was just like, and when Van Jefferson dropped the joint, that was like a dime.
Yeah.
What are you doing dropping that? I would have cut Van Jefferson on the spot with that.
Yeah, I would have been like, all right, that's it. Give me that jersey back.
Yeah, no, take your pads off. Like, I need you to Antonio Brown your ass out. Like, for real. Like, take this shit off right now.
Yeah, for real. Like, this equipment was expensive. Give it back.
Like, that shit back, bro. So, yeah, man. Go ahead. No, I'm just saying they're going to have that comparison. Go ahead and throw your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Ward individually has not looked bad, but his stats look bad because he has not a good team around him. And, like you said, drops. That was a big problem so far. I mean, I predicted them. I predicted them to have 7 wins because, to a lot of people's surprise, they had the second best pass defense in the NFL last year. So I think if you can pair a good defense with a good quarterback, you can win some games. You can win a handful of games, especially since they are in one of the 2 weakest divisions. Probably, I would say the weakest division. They're in the weakest division. Like, the Texans kind of just like sit over it like a dragon, like over like a pile of dead bodies, right? Like the other 3 teams aren't anything, but
They done it 2 years in a row, just 9-7.
yeah. So I thought Cam Ward was going to be good. I do think he's going to be good. They do got to figure out the offense around him. You know, it's the offensive line looked better at the end of last year than it has in a while. They did get a bunch of weapons. We just got to see if those weapons are any good.
Nah, I hear that. Tyler Shaw. Hey, yeah, him. Jolene's, him and that Spencer Rattler got a little. Yeah, I see why why you predicted 0-17, and that one definitely might hold up for you, big dog.
See, I thought it was really funny that you questioned me pretty hard on the Colts being 0-17. You did not question me on the Saints being 0-17. You were like, nah, I mean, that one, yeah, of course, that one.
Nah, I ain't gonna be surprised. They start moving some of the more expensive players. They talking about they re-signed Alvin Kamara. You can still move that money if you really need to. Nobody's safe. Cam Jordan, anybody else worth the talent, yeah, tear it down. Because right now you're literally when people see you on their schedule, they say W. That's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they doing to y'all right now.
Yeah, I just want I want the US government to look at the New Orleans Saints. I want them to look at this team and then I want them to look at this team and see what running up debt and pushing up the debt ceiling for years and years and years eventually does, because this is a perfect case study of that. It's finally come home to roost, and now they have nothing. They spent more money than they had for such a long time, had no money to do anything, and now they're in the situation that they're in. Looks really bad. Yeah, I mean, whatever pieces they have that have any value, Cam Jordan probably doesn't anymore because he's probably retiring after this year. At Kamara, though, yeah, you could. There's a win now team that's looking to add a running back as a final piece that you could move him to for sure. They got to do it. Like it's bad over there. I don't even have much more. I don't even have much more to say. It's bad over there, and like that's it. End of analysis.
Terrible. We kind of touched on it earlier, but the Colts. Yeah, man. What would you do if you were GM of that Colts team?
If I was GM of the Colts team, I would, regardless of what Anthony Richardson looks like, I would start him for the reason of I want to move off of him. And if he somehow figures it out, then boom, we have the guy. If he's bad, he's going to be really bad like he's been, and we're going to be picking in the top like 2 or 3. So I would start him, and then I would gladly trade Daniel Jones far away from my team. And I would do the same thing for Anthony Richardson to find someone who's willing to take a project quarterback, maybe even as a backup, with the hopes of developing him into something with time. And then I would draft one of the first few quarterbacks. And the thing is, like, the overall roster is not that bad. It's just because of how bad the quarterback play is. Like, yeah, it's nice to have Michael Pittman Jr. and Tyler Warren, who actually has looked pretty good in the preseason. Josh Downs. It's nice to have those guys, but if you're throwing like 5 feet over their heads, it doesn't really help. So you get a good quarterback in this situation, you probably have a solid core of a team, but the quarterback is just that bad.
Oh man, the quarterback position is it's such a fickle joint when it comes to the NFL, man. Like you gotta nail it. You just absolutely have to. And sometimes you might know for a fact you got it, or sometimes you might stumble upon it. But you got to make sure you get it right, man. Because
you gotta be you gotta get it right, and you also gotta be willing to acknowledge when you didn't get it right
and move on.
Yes. You got it. Yeah. Don't be stubborn. Don't hold
on.
out hope. If it's not working, switch up.
And you know what? Believe it or not, I kind of think this the way that they structure the CBA kind of helps them do that. The organizations with that 5th year option, because it's like, all right, 4 years, it's pretty much your window. 4 years is the max, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Or obviously, 5 is if you extend it, but
yeah.
But with that extension being there, 4 years is the max, because you don't have to pick up that 5th year and you just say, all right, cut bait. But I just think that the way that the CBA has set it up, it kind of makes it a lot easier for these franchises to know for a fact whether it's just saying, yeah, this shit ain't gonna work out. Because, like I said, Trey Lance, I think it was after year 3, they was like, yep, send your ass $1. Sometimes you ain't got to get to year 4. Sometimes but I think it definitely helps them on that one. But hey, man, Randy, man, appreciate that, man. Good stuff. The predictions, man.
Of course. Before we get out of here, do you want to just talk about Trey Hendrickson real quick? Got announced that he's officially on the trade block.
Yeah. Bengals going to ask for a king's ransom for him.
What do you think of the move? Do you think the Bengals should be doing this?
I think it's just bluff. Because they're going to make it damn near impossible to move him trade wise. They're going to ask for a load, like stupid crazy. They're going to ask for a lot of draft picks, high draft picks.
Yes.
Multiple ones. I can see that already. Yep. And then he's looking for new money. So then you got to turn around and pay him. And then you got to manage that too. So you're giving up a lot of assets and money to get Trey Hendrickson. And I don't know if that benefits him. He'll get out of Cincinnati because obviously he hates management. He don't like the way they run the team because they're at crazy odds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only looking at teams that pretty much it won't be contenders that can probably fit that mold for him.
I think that a team to look out for if it starts getting really serious and neither one of them caves, Commanders might be a team that's looking heavily at him. They have a cheap rookie quarterback, they have money to spend, and their biggest issue has been at the edge. They add Trey Hendrickson, that defense looks really different immediately.
That's actually not a bad idea there, sir. Because
I hope that doesn't happen, but I think it could.
No, I didn't think of that. I think it solves a lot of some needs for both of those teams. Imagine if they put Brian Robinson Jr. in that trade, send him to Cincinnati. He can go with the other running back that they had, Chase, back there, and kind of be like a two-headed monster. Because maybe I think Brian Robinson Jr. needs to change the scenery. It just didn't work out here in Washington.
Yeah, and I mean, if I were the Bengals, because when Myles Garrett got that huge contract, my immediate response was, okay, yes, he might be the best defensive player in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Having one of those guys on a team with as many needs as you have doesn't really help. You need a lot of good players. A lot of good players is more valuable than one great player with a lot of bad players. So if you're in the position that the Bengals are in, where their defense was basically just one guy, clearly that didn't work because their defense was horrible despite Trey Hendrickson being one of the best defenders in the entire NFL and leading the league in sacks. So if you can trade him to get multiple good defensive players around, like one guy for the secondary, one guy for the defensive line, and they're not elite, they're just good. You know, you get a first round pick, you get some defensive pieces, you might end up being a better overall team than you would with just Trey Hendrickson.
17 plus sacks added to Washington makes that team look a lot different.
Yeah, and I hope they don't take my advice.
It looks a lot different. No, that's a. I didn't think about that of a destination that he gets there, but the reason why I just think it's bluff is because it's like, you know, Cincinnati. You know, you don't let 17 plus sacks walk out the door, bro. You've been trash, and I get it. They've been trash with him, but you go from trash to trasher. I don't know. You
need a haul. You need a haul, and it needs to mostly be on defense. You need to find a team that's willing to give up a bunch of defensive assets and or high draft picks for one defensive player. I don't know if that team exists. Because, like, also, like, with the Commanders, if that ends up being the team that does it, who on defense could they give that would make it worth it? Bobby Wagner? Considering how old he is, that's not really worth it. Von Miller, same deal. Like, Marshawn Lattimore is not even good anymore. Like, who do they have on defense that you could be like, here, I will give you these players in exchange for Trey Hendrickson, and for the Bengals to improve because of that. That's also something you have to consider. Like, a team has to have the assets to make it worth it for Cincinnati.
And of course, both teams got to agree to it. Like you said, that's the, you know, I don't know, man. It's oof. I think it's going to be hard to move Trey, and just because of the fact that the Cincinnati management is going to be like, hey, I want a king's ransom. Yeah. So I think it's going to be hard to move him. Same with Micah. Micah ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Jerry does this every year. He talks his shit. Then right before opening kickoff, he pays his star. Yeah. Right.
Which is a very weird strategy. Like, it makes sense to do if you're willing to let them walk. It doesn't make any sense to do if you're
not. He does it, Randy. You know why he does it.
Oh, I know. He said so because he sees the Dallas Cowboys as a reality TV show. That's why he does it. It's not good business, though.
Oh, no. What are you talking about? It's good business. That man has got that team value very high if he were to sell it right now. And it's a walking cash cow. They always are in the green.
Do you think? Yeah, I mean, because of the spillover of their 90s success that he's been coasting off of, not because of stuff he's currently doing. I mean, like, I don't know, pissing off your players that you know you're going to pay anyway doesn't seem like a smart. Doesn't seem like a smart negotiation tactic. That's just me.
No, it's. I get what you're saying, but I just think that Jerry understands new age talk. Especially when it comes to talk about your team. Every hashtag that says Dallas Cowboys, that feeds into something that's talking about his team, that makes his team valuable. Talking about them. Them motherfuckers can go 0-17 and Jerry Jones can just say some shit just to make his team relevant. Because he understands the psychology when it comes to just people right now, when it comes to just what people attention, what it can get directed to, especially when it comes to football. You can make it very easy to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. He understands that.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. It's no publicity is bad publicity kind of mentality.
Bingo. In this day and age, it equals green. So, yeah, man. I always appreciate what you bring to the show, man.
Of course.
My brother needed. It felt, you know, we needed to get some shit off our chest on Monday, so we turned into Madness Monday. I will be back for Taco Tuesday tomorrow. I can check me out 11 p.m. Central Standard ish. That's about the time I usually go. Yeah, Central Standard ish. All right. So other than that, I can always check out Randy on Instagram, Panther on Acid if you need some audio needs. And we out, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Silent Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. I.O.W. cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mar. We about to